Hey, welcome to Chief Concerns, the last episode of 2020. It's our 10th episode, so we've been rolling, guys. We're here with our host, former tight end Jason Dunn, and former quarterback Eric Warfield. And today we have an extra special guest to end 2020 with former Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs coach and current defensive coordinator for Virginia State, Vernon Dean. Coach, it's great to have you.
It's good to be here, man. It's always good to get together with some of the old fellas. Eric, obviously I was in the room with Eric for 3 years, and great player, outstanding person. I always tell people, one of the best corners that I ever coached was Eric Warfield, because he made it look so easy. It didn't seem like he wasn't trying. And
I so wish it felt like that though, Vernon.
I mean, hey, he was the first guy that I ever saw just made it. He was just smooth. He was just smooth. He was like silky smooth. Like they talk about Marvin Gaye, silky soul, and it's always good seeing Jason. Obviously after Jason left Kansas City and we were down at Kentucky State, Jason came over and coached with us for 3 years. So I was able to develop a personal relationship and find out more about Jason as a person versus a player. And not only was he was an outstanding player, but he's a better person than he was a player. So, Jason, don't tell nobody I told you that.
I won't, man. I got your little tip after this is over, all right? So, appreciate that.
As we get into 2021, I know 2020 was a long year for many reasons and stuff. But personally, everyone's got their resolutions for the following years. But what do you guys have any specific resolutions for 2021? Jason, do you want to start off there?
Whew, resolutions. You know what? To be honest with you, it's when getting up in age, it's all about just your health, right?
Yeah.
My longevity, and so my resolution is try to work out 4 days out of the week and getting in at least about an hour, eating right, and just staying healthy. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, and some things I got on my plate, I want to make sure that I follow through with my foundation even more. And just reaching out in service. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Just be more concerned about my health, man. You would think that early 40s isn't that old, and it isn't. But I've had quite a few high school guys that I grew up with that have passed away. I've had a few guys from college that passed away. I've had a few guys that were with the Chiefs that have also passed away at an early age. So I think we kind of overlook some of the things that we eat, some of the things that we do as far as trying to stay healthy and keeping our bodies nourished and up to par to where we can live a long, healthy life. But, it's sad to see those young guys, depart from us so early. So my thing is, for myself and having back issues, I got to keep my weight around 200 pounds. And right now I weighed in today at 220. So I'm 20 pounds heavy, so
Ooh, shit.
I know. So I got to at least keep it around the 200, 205. So if that's a case of me eating more healthy things, vegetables and whatever else, then that's kind of my New Year's resolution for me, just staying healthy.
Coach?
Well, being that I've been around these guys, Warfield talking about in his 20s. Well, I'm 61, so I'm in the beginning of my 60s, and we all played in a time where I think with JD and E, I think that concussion protocol was just starting to come into place. But in the beginning of their careers, if you got hit in the head, you went over to the sideline. They put one finger up. The minute they put two, but they always put two finger up. But the minute you said you saw two fingers, you took your butt back in the game. And then in my case, I played in the era when everybody just took shots because at that time you didn't want to take any chance of somebody taking your position. So if you got injured, you didn't want somebody else to go in, and so you did whatever it took to play. And I said all that to say that back on me now, because I have issues with my shoulders, and like Eric said, with my back, ankles, or whatever injury I had, I'm having issues with it. Now, to answer your point about resolutions, I think all of us have more yesterdays than we do tomorrows. So thinking of that, we should start thinking about healthy living. And then my thing is, everything in a little moderation ain't gonna really hurt you. I mean, like, hey, people say, hey, I'm not gonna eat red meat. Well, heck, I know people that don't eat red meat that all of a sudden die. So I just think if you do it in a little moderation, but I do agree with both of them. I think more just of a healthy lifestyle. And the biggest thing for me, if I can say New Year's resolution, I'm gonna enjoy every minute of every day, and not gonna take a minute or 1 second for granted, and that's it.
Yeah, there's some solid takeaways there. And I think with this year as well, health's always one of those things that people, put into the forefront when they do their resolution. But I think with this past year that we went through, seeing the whole coronavirus and what that's done, I think that's made people even, think about their health more so than ever. So that's one positive for everyone here. Eric, before we move on to Chief Concern 1, what was your playing weight back in the day? What was your main playing weight?
212, 215. So I was right around there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big. Hey, he was a big corner, man.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, he was a big corner, man.
That's why we had certain defenses where Eric had to go man to man while we go zone on the other side. So
yeah, no. He didn't like playing on zone now. Yeah. If I remember, he didn't like playing on. No. I always thought if Eric plays safety, man, he still be playing.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, just because your athleticism and you were willing tackler, which a lot of corners are not really willing tacklers, and which you were, and you were a good tackler.
Vernon, I wouldn't trade much of what I did with my NFL career. My entire life I played safety, and all of a sudden I got the call from Marty, and they said they're gonna move me to corner. So I never played corner my entire life. I never got cover a guy one-on-one until I got to Kansas City.
Wow.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
wow.
I was just fortunate enough. I got with James Hasty, I got with Mark McMillan and Dale Carter, and I had to learn from all three of those dudes. And they all got three different styles because they're all built differently. So I had to take something from each one of them and try to instill into my game. But a lot of people have no idea like the transformation I had to go through just to make that transition and to try to be heck, at one point, the highest paid player on our defense. And so the thing that kind of made it easier for me was mainly when Vernon came, Pete was the X's and O's. Pete was great at X's and O's. I'm not saying that wasn't Vernon's point, but Vernon played the game. So Vernon saw it from a different point of view, and he could see and put me in different places, give me a different point of view on things that he could see. So that's, kind of where I think that's when I ended up getting my big contracts when Vernon came. So, it made a transition in my life to where I understood and I saw more, that I understood a lot more also. But there was so much of that game, man, that I didn't understand as a corner because I had never done it. That was my first time playing with the Chiefs and playing corner.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what, now that you said that, man, you can go ahead and send my little percentage.
So I was gonna say that too. Like, hey, you didn't break you off a check.
Wait, hey, what my Rolex watch at, man? What my watch at, man? I'm over here wearing my bottle. I should be wearing Rolex.
Right?
That's my golf fund, man.
Man, that's a good story, man. I mean, you talked about, first off, the three guys that helped you out, just making that transition. But it also goes into, man, your athletic ability. And I think it's one thing that we always talk about how athletic he was playing out there. And that's what Vernon was talking about, like just being silky. Because you did just make it look easy, man, because you were just an athlete, pure athlete out there, man. But, it's true. I told you had that Brinks truck, man. They brought the Brinks truck to you, unloaded the money for you.
Well, and growing up, that was one thing that was when I learned that Eric was a 7th round draft pick. I always thought it was like badass because, as a fan, we see those 7th round draft picks. Generally, a lot of those guys don't pan out in the league and become the number one cornerback for your favorite team. And once I found that about Eric, I was like, damn, man, I was a young kid. I got the Eric Warfield Nebraska rookie card.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So we're gonna go into chief concern number one, and one of the guys actually who actually made a difference in this game last Sunday was L'Jarius Sneed, who was a safety, now playing cornerback for us, and he's paying off dividends for our defense. But this game, it was another nail biter. I know Jason doesn't like calling the games we've had nail biters recently, but it's the seventh game in the last 7 games, our winning streak where we've won by 6 points or less. But this week we clinched the 1 seed and the bye in the AFC. What was your kind of big takeaway from this game, Coach? I'll start with you.
Well, first off, you really can't ever, count the Chiefs out. I mean, they are tremendous athletes all over the field, offensively and defensively. So, I mean, if I turn the TV on and I see the score is 17-10, it's the fourth quarter, it's 6 minutes left, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because they got players, and sometimes it just takes. The game is 60 minutes. It's 60 minutes for a reason. It's not 45 minutes; it's 60 minutes. So you can, not be on your game for 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter, you can just light it up. That's happened when I was with the Chiefs. So anytime you got great players like Patrick Mahomes and the athletes that he got around him, they can make a play happen in any minute. So to answer your question, they just always a threat to score at any time. So I never really worry about them, honestly. And now as a fan, because I'm not coaching in the NFL, so I don't have a dog in this race. And then my team, the Redskins, they like trash, right? Well, I shouldn't say that. They're really good defensively. They have some concerns offensively, but they are a really good defensive team. So I don't really have a dog in this race. So I'm just a fan and looking at the Chiefs now, man. They are. They're dangerous on offense. They got players on defense. They can make plays. The name of the show is Chief Concern, but me as just a fan, I don't have no concerns at all.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, and we speak about it every week, and we kind of point out what we see that could be a problem within the season, especially going into the playoffs. But it's so hard to dwell on it because at any point, we have been down that entire game, and when we needed the touchdown, we got the touchdown. So it's like when our back's up against the wall, we know how to come out fighting. We know how to put up the points. It may look, the game might look bad throughout, like Vernon said, for maybe 59 minutes of that 60. And we only need that 1 minute to put us back in that game. So would you hate to see it always come down to that last minute? No, but it's been that way. But it's hard to lose confidence when you always seeing this team rise above the top, rise and come out the top.
JD,
you know what? It's good saying that during the season, and I get the whole point of it being 60 minutes. But now things start becoming tougher, right? And the only concern comes in. It's the same thing when you get down in the red zone, scoring points. And so when you get down that way, you got to come away with points, and you can't throw interceptions, and you just got to be able to score. So they have the ability. We know this at any time, like you said, to score and whatnot. But sometimes you see them kind of play down to this competition, right? I think they know they handily had a game. It's last 2 games of the season. Everybody's thinking about their rest. They are. They're thinking about this last game, getting the rest, and getting into the playoffs. So mentally, I think you start shutting down a little bit too. That's kind of part of it, right? Because she's like, look, I'm trying to stay safe. I'm shutting down because I know I'm trying to make this thing a long haul. We're trying to win the whole thing. This game against Atlanta didn't really cost anything. It wasn't a big deal. So possibly the energy wasn't there as much, but still the concern for me, being a professional, is still scoring points in the red zone. So that's the only thing that comes to my mind, and I think have to do a much better job of doing, especially when it comes down, when everything is going to start counting, when you get into the playoffs.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into our second concern you guys both kind of mentioned. I guess kind of not feeling this like you're not scared when it comes down to a minute left and we're down. But it's weird because I feel like as a fan, just seeing this game, it looks like we're kind of coasting, trying these like cute gimmicky plays where Mahomes is going out for a bomb and Watkins is throwing it to him. But when we go down, and I was watching the game, I told my brother, I was like, honestly, I hope Atlanta scores on this drive so I come out with some urgency and actually score a touchdown instead of doing these, cutesy plays. They scored, and we come down, and we take a 17-14 lead. So what's it tell you about the team that when we do need to get points in, 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left, we'll get those points? What does it tell you about us? And is that a concern going forward?
When they pull it out, it shows you what kind of strength that you have offensively, that you're able to put up the points when you need it. So that's what it shows me is like when, like I said earlier, when your back's against the wall, you're going to come out fighting. And, like you said, if they haven't scored a touchdown, we could still be out there just, gimmicking around with creating plays to try to make stuff up just to get points. And yet when we really need it, we go down there and make it look easy. And yet throughout the entire game, it's like we struggle. We put ourselves in bad position with, a bad throw here, a bad route here, or a bad call. And all of a sudden, when we really need it, we find ways to drive the length of the field with ease and put it in the end zone. But during the regulation of the game, it's like you said, we're just out there just fooling around and, I don't know, just trying to pass time by, it seems like.
I look at it, man. We're the best 2-minute team in football, without a doubt. I mean, when you need a score, you need something, the absolute best, bar none. It's not even close. And so it shows you that, yeah, these guys have confidence. You got the weapons around you. And so it just kind of takes a look. Okay, look, we're going to get this done. Let's go down here and score. And you see how easy it was done. It's like, where was this the entire game, right? Yeah. So I think part of it was just the low energy that the guys were just having. Piddling around with this team that, okay, let's come out here and just kind of, come out and just play. But it just shows you how dangerous the offense really is. So you could just hope to contain this offense. You can't stop it. Let's just try to contain it as much as possible. That's always going to be a challenge week in and week out. But, man, when you got those guys back there and 15's back there throwing the football, sure, you don't want nobody better back there than him. I don't see it.
Coach?
One thing about football is situational football. And most teams that are really good, they practice different situations. It's kind of funny that Jason said that. But in a 2-minute offense, the energy level raises, because typically in 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes before halftime, which is totally different. You could be up a score, or you could be down 2 scores and you just need to get a score, just to have momentum going in the second half. But in the end, at the end of the game, 2-minute offense, it's a lot of energy. The urgency is there because it's only 2 minutes left. And those situations are always practiced. And I'm sure Andy Reid probably touches on that in those situations, in that situation, at least a couple times a week. I know he probably does it one time during the week, and I'm sure he does it as a walkthrough the day before they travel on a Saturday.
Oh, every day we was doing it. It was always, you had to do it. Wednesday you come out there. It was always, like you said, scenarios, just working through it, right?
Yeah, work with situations.
Situation football. So yeah, that's a part of the things that you do. But you just know that you got all those motor cars right there. We talk about, man, you got a Lamborghini, a Porsche, take your pick, right? What you want to get in today and drive. So, who's going to eat today? Yeah. So it's a good place to be at right now. Trust me.
See that's, hey boss, that's the difference in time. See, Eric and JD, they talk about Lamborghinis, Porsche, and I'll probably sit up and say, hey man, a Nissan, what do they call that?
A Cadillac.
A Cadillac. Y'all talking about Lamborghini and Porsche. I'm sitting over talking about a Cadillac.
That fifth wheel.
Out of times, brother.
Well, it's it's funny. It's funny that you talk about the last 7 games. Yeah, everyone makes a big deal that we've only won 6 points or less in those 7 games. But all those games we've won differently. We've shown a variety of different ways we can win these games. Which a lot of these pundits out there who are all saying, "Oh, Buffalo Bills, they're the team to watch out for. That's the best team in the AFC or the best team in the NFL." Forget about the win records, the records of the teams we've played over the last 7 game span, but the fact that we've won in different ways. It wasn't all Mahomes, throwing for 500 yards. It was a variety of different ways to win these games. So I think that's one way of looking at this 7-game, one silver lining of this 7-game win streak. But next concern is a running game, which on the show we've talked about. That's being the concern for Jason and Eric. Eric actually said that last week he called that Darrell Williams was going to be kind of a key guy for us. And it looked like he was our main runner on Sunday. He out-carried and out-snapped Le'Veon in that game. What did you see from Darrell Williams in his expanded role, Eric, this past weekend?
He knows the playbook, and he knows those players better than Le'Veon does. Le'Veon's first year here. He hadn't even had a full season. Yeah. And Darrell is coming off of a Super Bowl win season. To where, like I said, he was almost the MVP of the Super Bowl game for what he did in that game. So he knows the playbook inside and out. It's just a matter. I don't know where he fell off at in the beginning of the season to where we felt like, bringing in Clyde, CEH. But we ended up bringing in CEH. And then after the Raiders game, we felt like we needed a better either backup or somebody that could really fill the role of the starting running back. And so we go out and we get Le'Veon Bell. And right now, I think Le'Veon is taking over the reins to be the guy to carry us throughout, especially with CH's injury. So he's going to be that main guy. But again, Williams is one of those that's proven. And I, like I said, I don't know where he fell off at within the team in a game or what, practice, to where they lost confidence in him. Maybe it's a contract thing coming up. I don't know. But I know from seeing him play, he has what it takes, either catching the ball out the backfield or taking it through the gap. So he's a proven guy.
JD?
Yeah, the thing is, he's earned his stripes. Like you said, man, chemistry is key. So a guy like you said, man, he toted the rock for him last year to win the Super Bowl. And so a guy like that, naturally, he's already put into that place. Plus, also, too, when you're thinking about pass protection, right? It's very important. Protect your team back there. You got to protect it. And so Williams does a great job of picking out the linebackers and the safeties and understanding the scheme as far as the blocking. And also, too, I think they just want to kind of get him reinserted back into the offense, right? Because he just really didn't have the carries. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought it had something to do with the COVID protocols or something, that he was kind of opting, didn't know if he wanted to opt in or out, or maybe his family had gotten dealing with.
Oh, you might be right. That might. I don't. You might be right.
That was the reason. Yeah, and so and I don't know the whole full extent of how that whole thing works, but apparently he was able to come back to the team and then get kind of work back, get into shape, So he's just trying to catch up. So even in this time catching up, you got an established guy, right? With Sierra coming in, and then of course Le'Veon comes in. You want to see what he can do. But that concern is the running game is always, even if it's him, Le'Veon, it's still going to be a concern. So I don't care how good you are as a back. If the guys up front are not making holes for you, if they ain't blocking the guys that they need to, then that's just going to be a problem. And to sustain in the playoffs, man, you got to have a running game. I keep reiterating the fact that these guys got to put their cleats in the ground and come off the football. Period. That's it.
Well, I'm gonna give an answer from a different perspective. First off, we know JD was a tight end, but if you see how big he is now, he was only a few pounds lighter when he played. So really, he was an offensive lineman, and just to make sure that in his mind he could think he was a tight end, they said they'll throw him a ball once a game.
I love it. At least one. Give me one.
So, hey,
Just give me a shot.
so he did get 16 targets a year, so they can say, so he could say he was a tight. But the reality was he's the offensive lineman. I think I can give a different perspective, mainly because I coached for the Chiefs, and for me, as a coach, that was just a job because I've been coaching for 20 some years, but they played for the Chiefs, and you can see how they talk. Their passion is a little bit different than mine. Now, however, if we were to talk about the Redskins or whatever, my passion would probably be the same. But Jason is 100% right. Those years when I was in Washington, when we were fortunate enough to play in the Super Bowls, the one thing that we did have and always had, we had an outstanding running game, and it wasn't something that it was like a one-night stand thing. No, it was an all-time thing. We did it all the time. Now, one thing that I'm not going to go against, okay, Andy Reid, outstanding coach. Eric Bieniemy, outstanding coach. So I'm not going to question what they're doing, okay, with the players. Now, I know the kid from LSU, the guy that Eric had a tough time saying his name. I even have a tougher time saying his name, but he's an outstanding player. Le'Veon Bell, we all know what he's done in the past and what he brings to this team. Now, both of those guys are two different types of backs. So I mean, Le'Veon Bell is a more patient runner, whether Edwards, Claire, or whatever. He's a more powerful runner. So the running styles are a little different. And right, the other kid, was it Damon Williams? Is that his name? Or the Williams kid?
Williams, yeah.
Yeah. Now the Williams kid, he had an outstanding season last year. And there again, when they drafted that kid, to myself, I was like, wow, do they really need him? Well, putting on my coach's hat now, I'm not going to question those guys. So they saw something in him that could help their offense go. And both of you guys played against Andy Reid. So Andy Reid, and especially you, Eric, and Andy Reid, he can think some stuff up.
Yeah.
So I think he know what he's doing. But I know this. Once you get into the playoffs, you're gonna need to have some kind of running game.
Yeah. Well, think about it, and it goes to the point of like, so Andy, look at the people he had the past years. So he brings Shady McCoy to the game, to the team, try to revamp his career. Then he got Kareem Hunt, who was just killing it. You know what I'm saying? Was leading the league.
Now he was the guy.
He was the guy.
He was the guy. No doubt,
he was the guy. That's right. Hey, you don't think in the draft they try to find somebody just like him? Hey, that's the reason they got Clyde Hilaire down to LSU, which was a great pick.
So they still have McCoy as well.
Nah,
is he still?
McCoy is gone.
He's in Tampa.
McCoy is in Tampa, right? Yeah, he's in Tampa. Okay, yeah, okay, all right.
You know how you said early about those years that he just won't get paid. Like this sucker right here is riding it out, man. Hey, he's riding it out.
Hey, man, we've all been in those shoes.
Yes, sir. But hey, sometimes they rob you without the face mask on, don't they?
Hey, man, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. I ain't mad at him.
At all.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and they say that Hilaire is supposed to come back in the playoffs. They say he's not done for the season, so hopefully we can get him back in the postseason. So that'll give us kind of a triple punch between Hilaire, Bell, and Darrell Williams, especially now that Darrell Williams is actually getting an expanded role here, not just a third down back. But so looking ahead to the week 17. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about resting starters or not resting starters. So it looks like we're going to be resting a lot of our starters on Sunday. Andy Reid, if you look at his history, he's been known to rest his guys when there is no seeding to gain when it comes to week 17. From a player's point of view and a coach's point of view, what are the pros and cons to resting for 2 weeks? I'll let you.
I want to hear the coach's perspective first, all right? I want to hear the coach.
Okay. Well, see, now, this is why I got a step on you. I think I've done this quite a few as a
Right.
player. As a player, so let me, because you put it in my lap, I'm gonna give a player's perspective first.
Okay.
So as a player, it's no doubt you play 16 games, and let's say if you 15-1, and the next closest person to you is 13-3, or if, let's say, excuse me, let me go back. Let me say you 14-1, and the next closest person to you is 11 or it's 12 and whatever. You guys know the math.
Yeah.
12 and 3.
3.
12 and they 12-3. Okay. If you lose, nobody's gonna catch you. So if you have guys that are banged up, or if you don't want to take a chance of banging up Eric Warfield, because you're gonna get a bye week, so that's 2 weeks you're gonna get a chance to rest, but you're probably gonna have to face a guy like who's a really good receiver. You're gonna have to face them Dallas receivers, or you're gonna have to face them Kansas City Chiefs receivers. I'm just saying, as another team, you got to face some really, really good receivers. If you're a linebacker, you got to face some really good running backs. If you're a defensive lineman, you got to face a really good offensive line, or vice versa. If you get a chance to rest those guys, first of all, it's not gonna cost you anything. It's not gonna cost you anything. Now, the guys that you putting out there, trust me, every game, that's your resume. Every game is your resume. So those guys that you putting out there, they're not gonna go out there and just, lay egg. They're not gonna do that. Put it this way, that's not their intention. And everybody know that I don't even know the backup quarterback in Kansas City. Everybody know he's not. Who?
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne played in Carolina, right? Didn't he come from Carolina? Chad Henne came from Carolina. But anyway, Chad Henne is not Patrick Mahomes. Everybody know that. If they set the cheetah down and a couple of those other guys and let a couple of those special teams guys play, so be it. Let them play. Let them play. What's the big deal? They get some experience. You get a chance to see what you got on your roster. If you lose the game, it's not going to hurt you. But you're not going to prepare to lose, because coaches never prepare to lose. They always prepare to win. And they're going to coach with the same intensity to win and prepare as though those other guys are playing. But if you got a chance to rest your stars, rest your stars.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Agree. I mean, you 15, 16, 17 weeks deep in the season, your body's gonna be beat up pretty good.
No doubt.
So to take those weeks of rest, that's a big time relief.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody. I've never felt like I was out of shape after a bye week. I mean, it's mainly because after you come through, you've gone through training camp, you've gone through preseason, you've gone through 4 or 5 weeks in the season. That little week that you getting off for a bye week, it really ain't gonna affect you that much.
And you're only getting 3 days off because you do practice a couple of days.
Yeah. So I mean, as much as we think to ourselves like, okay, we're getting them a whole 2 weeks off. They're gonna have some sort of training. I guarantee you, they're gonna be in the playbooks. Nobody's gonna be taking no Vegas, Miami trips. So it's one of those to where this is a little bit more important than an in-season bye week.
Yeah.
This is one of those playoff bye weeks to where you really want to take the time that they're giving you to rest your body, to refurbish the things that you got going on up in your head about this playbook and about the season.
Okay, so I'm gonna play somewhat of the devil's advocate here. All right. Okay, so we every team has different philosophies. Andy has a different philosophy from Belichick. Belichick doesn't rest his players, and we see how many Super Bowls he's won by doing it that way, right? Andy can't take away from his resume. Went to the NFC Championship 4 times. Won Super Bowl, wins one last year. So everybody has different philosophies. My thing is this: if I see a team like the Ravens, who took their time off and come back and just absolutely stink it up from having that bye week and were just rusty, everybody was just off key and wasn't. And look, let's be honest here. All right, we've all played. We know that week that you're supposed to be practicing, You're coming out in flip flops half the time. You ain't even spatting up. You ain't lacing nothing up. You ain't doing no type of practicing like you usually do. We know that. Come on.
Not.
Baltimore ain't Kansas City, Jason.
Huh?
Baltimore is not Kansas City.
Yeah. Totally different game.
Listen, look, I get that. I understand Baltimore's not Kansas City, but hey, that guy back there is a bad boy too. Okay, when I seen him come out of that locker room against who was that? He had a cape on.
Cleveland.
Okay?
Cleveland,
yeah. That joker had a cape on when he came out. All right, so you know,
I'm not taking anything from him. He's a great player.
Yeah, he ain't.
But he ain't no Patrick Mahomes.
He's not. But
they ain't got no Tyreek Hill. They ain't got no Travis Kelce.
Right. So what I'm saying is this, right? So my mindset is this: if you're getting prepared, and like Vern was saying, you know, you're always going to prepare to win the game. But I see an aspect of the game that we're not really that good at is the running game, right? So I don't even care if like those guys. You never take off your D-line and offensive line. You never take those guys out at all. I don't care what you do. All right.
I know Willie Rofe took a few off.
Who?
Willie Rofe.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, believe me, he had to cry for it if he did. Believe me. Trust me.
Yeah.
Will
Shields.
Huh?
Will Shields.
Hey,
no.
See, you talk. Yeah, see, you talk about Dick Vermeil. That's a different animal, man.
That's
what I'm saying is like
but Dick's a different animal.
But those are still the star players, though.
But
if Will Shields and Willie Rofe want to take the week off, if they want to take Wednesday, Thursday off and come practice Friday, and then walk through, they can do that.
Hold up, dog. Will Shields took a couple damn Wednesdays off. He took a few Wednesdays off.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Vernon. They are able to do that.
Them off. Jason, you saw Will Shields take Wednesdays off yourself.
Vern, you know what? hey, you saw.
I was down when they said Will Shields. No, excuse me. Willie Rofe does not need to practice today. I was there.
All right. So I'm gonna say this. All right. Hey, you taught me this. All right. Don't use Willie Rofe and Will Shields in the same breath as this offensive line right here. Just don't do it, okay? We ain't gonna do it.
Right. Don't bring that back up on me, man.
Hey, look, I ain't taking up from these guys, but look, Willie Rofe and Will Shields ain't out there right now, okay? They not.
Yeah.
All right.
I got you.
So them guys earned that, okay? We talking about Hall of Famers.
But we talking about the same thing with the Chiefs though. So like, if you got a Tyreek Hill and a Travis Kelce who's been balling out every week, you can rest those guys.
Valid point. I get that. Absolutely, I do. And that's what Vern actually made me think about it a little bit more. Because I was like, you know what? Because I remember when we used to always tell Priest, like, look, we don't need Priest right now. We need Priest during the game, during the season. Yeah. You know, when G. West took his head off, Priest took his unstrapped his chin strap, took his head. Priest was done. Hey, we didn't need him right there during training camp. We need that joker during the game, right? During the season is when we need it. And I get that point of it. So I'm just saying that, you know, it's different philosophy, different mindsets here. My thing is this. I said the week before, you play them maybe a couple series, man, shut it down. Put the head on, shut it down. At least come out here for a couple series. Hey, sit back. You done. Have that. Now, coach, you want to go in? Nope. Sit down. You done. Right? And so that's what it is.
Hey, man, sit them boys down. Sit down, man. Sit them down,
I'm with you, Vern.
You ain't got nothing to lose, man. Sit them boys down, man. Get your butt ready. Get your butt ready, man.
I hear you. Hey, I hear you.
Man. I hear you. Get your butt ready, man.
In return, if them boys come out and ball, then they're gonna extend your career. Yeah. Now, say them boys come out and they get hurt, man, and if they trying to play, and you made them play, go out there and play. Okay, that's your line. That's your job on the line too.
I get it, man. But every week we go out there with the ability to get hurt.
Though, JD, but
every week. But okay. So do they dress? Do you at least dress them? You put them in uniform at least just to make it look good. Just to make it look good. Come on now.
I mean, honestly, if you're not gonna play, okay. Let me say this. Okay. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit. Okay. And let's go to the NBA. And they're doing load management in the NBA. Okay. They're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for a reason. Now, I know you say apples, oranges. Now, you come on back to the NFL. Trust me, man. Trust me. You've been banging for 16 weeks. You might have had your bye week 4. Week 4. So you've been banging for 12 weeks straight, just banging. And you're an offensive lineman. You've been banging. You know, you're getting treatment every day on your shoulder. You get treatment on your back every day. You sprain your ankle, you've been getting treatment. Man, part on that, man, coach. If I'm 100%, I don't care who you put out there. I'm going to kick his butt. I'm going to kick his butt. You rest that dude, because you know what? You seen him kick everybody's butt. And you know he's in shape. You know he ain't hanging out all night at the bar, at the club. You know he ain't going to do that. So, and then now you can't do it.
Well, I was going to say that little bug hanging out the club's been going around now. Everybody been catching that little virus.
No, you can't. No, I don't think. No. You good now,
you
man.
ain't have to worry about them boys doing it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it right now. Yeah, you good.
Yeah,
I rest them, man.
So you rest them, but do you at least dress them? Do you dress just to make it look good, or what? Or no, street clothes?
If they're gonna help you meet the numbers, yes. But if you don't need to, I wouldn't dress Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't dress him. I mean, if he's not going to play, I wouldn't dress him. I say, hey, man, it's y'all game. I mean, I'm not going to use him as the emergency quarterback. For what? I'm not going to do that. Now, during the week, am I going to let him practice? Yeah, I might let him practice and get some reps. Because I need to make sure that he's sharp. But I'm not going to let him play. I'm not going to let him play. But he can get the same work in practice just to make sure he stays sharp. I mean, he can do RVAs. And boss, if you don't know what that is, that's routes versus air. He can do routes versus air and stay sharp throwing. I mean, he can do a scramble drill in 7-on-7.
Yeah.
So he can get his work and make sure he's sharp and his timing is okay, you know, but he don't need to be in the game. I mean, because first of all, who they playing?
San Diego, right?
Chargers.
Okay, San Diego ain't got a goddamn thing to lose. They ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
One of them boys come off the edge, and Mahomes is running a boot and pop him in the nose, pop him in the head. So you know, why risk it?
Yeah, don't run no boot though. Hand the ball off.
God dang, JD.
Hand the ball off.
Okay.
Tiptoe a couple times. Hand the ball off.
Just don't play. Let me ask you a question. Okay, you like to drink, right? I'm saying you used to. You like to drink. Okay. Now, and you say, okay, well, I want you to meet me at this bar, but you can't have nothing to drink. Why go to the bar?
Still a good place to go hang out. I still want to see you.
Okay. All right. Well, see, JD, you impossible to talk to.
Oh, you know, I'm arguing.
Yeah, you impossible. Yeah, I'm just saying. But you argue for no reason. There's no reason for us to argue.
No, hold on. No, seriously.
There's no reason for us to argue.
No, seriously. Look at it like this.
Why would you play Patrick Mahomes?
Well, I'm saying this. It's worked up in New England, right? And I'm saying Patrick Mahomes come in for like one series. That's all. I'm not saying he plays the whole game. I'm not asking him to come in and throw 40 times. That's it. I'm saying rest him out, play one little series, and sit his butt down. That's it.
All right. Well, you might be able to, but this is my thing. Okay, I'm a player. I'm a baller. Man, how in the heck am I gonna get ready to play one series?
That's it. Hey, you got to do it. Hey, look, how many?
Hey.
You would do anything to ask.
Hold up. Okay. Hey, Warfield, let's go back to preseason. Okay, when we used to come to y'all and say, hey, man, all you're going to do is play 2 series. In your mind, you're like, damn, coach, are you serious? 2 series? What the hell 2 series going to do for me?
Nothing.
Fuck, I might as well not even play.
Don't even just spat it up.
Not even play. Yeah, right. No shit. I might as well not even get tape. What's the point?
Shit, he was probably asking, said, why we doing 2 series? Shit, what the hell? Why we doing 2?
No, actually, he didn't mind playing in preseason.
Nah, I didn't mind at all.
No, he didn't mind, at least not playing the first quarter. After that, I remember one game, Dexter was playing. Dexter was like, damn, Vern, why we still playing?
Yeah.
he was like, now, Dexter was quick to say, hey, man, Vern, why we still playing, man? It's the third quarter, man. Say, bro, you got to ask Coach Bill.
But based on Andy Reid's history with the Chiefs, at least 2013 is the year I think we clinched the 2 seed, I believe, or at the 2 or 3 seed. But Alex Smith, Jamal Charles, and Dwayne Bowe all sat out that game. They didn't even dress up that game. So, I mean, we'll probably see Mahomes not dressed out, and whoever else is sitting out probably not dressed out at all. Just based on his history.
How they do that year?
That was the Andrew Luck year where Andrew Luck had that 36-point comeback.
Hey, hold on for a second. Okay, you said Alex Smith. What's the boy named? Jamal Charles. What's the other guy name? Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowe. Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce. Cedar. Don't mention them in the same breath.
That's fair.
Them in the same breath. All right, move on. That was get back with Jason. You don't mention them guys in the same breath. No, it's going back to Jason. Yeah, you don't do that.
And also, we're talking about load management. I think it was over the offseason. I heard Doc Rivers, because they asked him about Joel Embiid having some load management games this year and taking some games off. And he said, have you seen the way I walked? He said, I wish they had load management back when I played.
Yeah. See, Jason, see, Jason walking around talking all that crap, man. Give him a couple more years. Give him a couple more years, and he'll understand. See, he had to get that surgery on his back. So I remember he had to get that surgery on his back. So he's still feeling it. But Jason, just hold on, brother. Hold on.
Are you kidding?
Hold on.
Look. Being out there on that island ain't like being in the trenches, my brother. Okay. Look, y'all pretty boys. Y'all pretty for a reason. Okay. All right. Look, hey, Marcus, all of them got that $1 million smile. Look at them. Both of them get me. I got like 3 caps on my front teeth. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hold on to it.
All right. So our final segment before we head to the Chiefs Kingdom Concern segment is the so we're looking at the seeding. So this weekend we're going to be resting our starters because we're clinched. Nothing matters anymore. But the rest, the 2 through 7, that's all still up in the air. They don't know how everything's going to seed out. But going towards round 2, what's the one team you guys don't think the Chiefs should want to play in round 2 of the playoffs? What's the one team that you're like looking at it like, I don't want to play them?
I don't know. I think we got Baltimore's number. We got the upper hand on them. Right now, the scariest team for me was Tennessee. But if you stop Derrick Henry, load the box on Derrick Henry, I think our secondary is good enough to stop theirs. And I don't think Tannehill's that good of a quarterback to where you can put that much faith in him. Cleveland, that 2-headed monster, they got both of the boys running the ball. Like that's a dangerous team right there. If you can, it gives Baker Mayfield some confidence. If Indy makes it, to me, Indy is the scariest team. They got a great defense.
Yeah.
And Phillip Rivers can get in rhythm and get hot. And I mean, I know he's known for his bad plays or throwing interceptions, but dude is a playmaker.
JD?
You know what? I'm gonna keep going back to Pittsburgh. And to me, the factor is Big Ben. And it's Thomas. I mean, to be honest with you, we're talking about seasoned guys, okay, that have a decent defense. The offense, the last few weeks they've been kind of sputtering here and there. But you know what? Yeah. That's the team that you don't want to see because come playoff time, he's going to have them guys ready. He's going to have them ready. And so I would say it's Pittsburgh, and then of course, like you said, Cleveland. Cleveland, great defense, and then like two-headed monster, man. Them boys are dangerous back there. I don't have a lot of faith in Baker Mayfield.
It's time to eat. Okay, come here.
We've had a problem running the football or stopping the run. So
come right here. I'm gonna let you be honest there.
How do you
right there
manage and stop?
What's up, little Dean?
Hey,
that's my grandbaby, man. She came in, she said, "Pops, it's time to eat." So go back there. Let me finish. Say hi, Mr. Warfield. Hi, Mr. Dunn.
Happy New Year.
Jason, you remember her, right?
I sure
you
do.
Remember
Jordan,
yeah,
big. I know it.
now. She's a big girl now, man. She got her 2 twin brothers in there. Go back in there. You know. Yeah. Hey, but I have to agree. I kind of agree with both of them, both of you guys a little bit. Now, with Bill Belichick not being in the playoffs, the next guy that, for some reason, he always gets his guys to play, and that's Mike Tomlin. His guys, he gets his guys to play, man. Now, the past couple of years, he hasn't had the threats. Now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Since Antonio Brown has been gone, the offense really ain't been the same because they just don't have that one guy that, as Warfield, you know what I'm talking about, that make DB's hamstrings shake.
Yeah,
you know, they don't have nobody that make DB's hamstrings shake. And they have the kid from Kentucky, that running back. I thought what was his name, Barry Snell.
Benny Snell. Benny Snell.
Yeah. I thought he was pretty good, and they stopped playing him. Now, the one concern that I do have on their defense is the fact that they don't have Bud Dupree. Now, I don't know what I know. Bud Dupree got hurt, and he was one of their leaders. But it's just something about Mike Tomlin in the playoffs. I think he can motivate his guys to play. Now, remember, this is just a one game. It's a one game tournament. You're playing one game. Other than that, I don't think the Ravens, if they get in, have the firepower. Defensively, Eric, I think you're right. I think the Browns probably have the best defense as a whole that can line up and play with those guys. Now, can Baker Mayfield do it offensively? Well, they might have some problems because, they got some COVID issues and they got to win this week, and they do have to play Pittsburgh, and so, now they lost to the Jets last week, right?
To the Jets last week, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they had all their receivers were out, so
right.
Yeah. But to me, that's still no excuse. So I don't know, man. If they can put it together and get past Cleveland, which is the only real threat to me, like Eric says, in Pittsburgh. I don't think there's no other threat in the AFC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
None of you said Buffalo. I'm kind of surprised by that.
I'm not ready to crown Buffalo yet, man.
No, I mean,
they playing. Now look, okay, so really should have lost to the Rams because that wasn't a pass interference. They really should have beat the Rams, and that was 4th down. That wasn't a pass interference. And I just think they won some games at the end that they very well could have lost. And then they playing in the AFC East. The AFC East is not that strong this year. So I don't know. I'm not now. I tell you what. Now, that quarterback is special, and he does have a special receiver. So I mean, hell, anything can happen. But I just don't. I think if you're gonna get in a shooting match, which I think that's what it would be against Kansas City, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win.
Yeah. All right. It was just interesting because everyone this week's been crowning Buffalo as the best team in the NFL. So it was just And I agree with you guys. I think right now everyone's kind of buying this 6-game winning streak. If you look at their 6-game winning streak, the opponents they played, I think the win-loss record, they're playing lesser opponents than we've played in our last 7 games. So that's something that people don't. They like to leave that part out of it.
What's the Chiefs record? Is 15-1.
14-1. They got the last one this week.
It's 14-1, right?
Yep.
So they only lost 1 game, right?
Raiders.
Yep. One game to and both of you guys know, because both of you guys played 8, 9, 10 years against the Raiders. It don't matter what the record is when you play the Raiders.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That is always a tough game.
Fight.
Period. Personal. So you don't really say that. So okay, so they 14-1. Okay. So they beat everybody else, didn't they?
Yeah.
A 6-game win streak. They
Right.
beat everybody else except they lost 1 game.
Right.
Come on, man.
All right, so
Hey man, I gotta go eat, man. So
Go eat, very good talking to you, man.
Okay.
We can finish the
Hey
rest
man,
of this.
I appreciate it.
Coach.
Yeah, I get back to you guys, man. I get back.
All right,
Thanks
Bird.
for having
Yeah,
me,
big
JD.
brother.
Eric.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
you
Love
guys.
you, man. Hey, send the family the love, man. Seriously, all right?
I will. All right.
All right. So our last segment before we end the show, before we say goodbye to 2020, is our last Chief Kid of Concern segment for this year. And the first one goes to you, Eric. It's from at SI Chiefs. They tweeted, with the Chiefs playing to sit starters, rookie DN Mike Dana is preparing for more playing time as he's to make his first NFL start against the Chargers Sunday. Quote, I just know that when the door is knocking, I've got to answer, Dana said. Eric, what is your response to that tweet?
He's 100% right. You know, with a lot of our guys being hurt, Frank isn't playing as good as as he was the year before. He's got a chance right now to solidify something. You know, make his mark, and hopefully going into the next season, going into the playoffs. You know, you never know. He could be one of those that sparks it and end up having a big role in the playoffs. So when the opportunity's given, take advantage of it.
Awesome. All right, so our final Chiefs Kid of Concern before we end the year here. It's for you, Jason. It's actually CBS Sports Radio as a tweet. They tweeted, Super Bowl champion James Jones thinks the Chiefs should be, quote, very nervous about playing the Bills in the playoffs. And if Kansas City played Buffalo tomorrow, the Bills would win 35-31. We just kind of talked about that, but Jason, what is your thoughts to that?
You know what? Buffalo's a good team. I'm not going to take anything away from them. And they have a great quarterback, 2 good wide receivers, a decent defense. But I think that the Chiefs, without a doubt, would beat them handily. I really do. And I think part of that is just because of the magic of Mahomes and the offense. The defense will do just enough what they need to do to win. Plus, I've seen, Diggs kind of, if you get up underneath him in his head a little bit and start like kind of hitting him and stuff like it, kind of take him out of the game a little bit. So Buffalo is a good team, but man, coming in to Arrowhead and even if you don't have a crowd, just coming to that stadium, you know how it is, just coming in and seeing the stadium and knowing all the, the whole, the majestic part of what the Chiefs represent is going to be hard to win. So I don't think the Bills would beat Kansas City at all. Matter of fact, I think the Chiefs will probably beat them by at least 2 touchdowns. I really believe that. And it's just because of the guys, after winning the Super Bowl, you have a confidence about yourself, about doing that all over again. You can't let somebody come in and see you, especially during this time, especially when it's that close. So, yeah, Buffalo, good team, but not better than the Chiefs. No doubt.
Yeah, with that being said, like for us to go out and run the ball the way we did against Buffalo, to not even need Patrick Mahomes that game, and we won that, not even close. So if we can go out there and establish a running game that we did, and to add Patrick and his arm in there, that could really be a blowout.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I forgot that Mahomes was really utilizing that game. It was CEH's come out party, really.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that. That's right. It was effective running game. Where was that at? Where we been at? Where we been at?
We just had to show we can run it. That's all. That was it. That one game.
Put it back on the shelf. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that does it for our New Year's Eve episode. We'll see you next week where we discuss the playoff matchups and what the Chiefs should hope for going into the second round of the playoffs. If anyone at Chiefs Kingdom has any Chief concerns for these guys, please tweet at us at @ConcernsChief, and please subscribe and follow Chief Concerns on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I hope everyone out there in Chief Concerns world has a very happy New Year. And guys, I hope you have an amazing New Year with your families. And and I want to say this: it's been a great end of the 2020 to the last 10 weeks doing the show with you guys. It's been amazing to talk football with you guys.
It has been. I appreciate it, Mark. It's a good thing you put together.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I enjoyed it with you, E, and Marcus, man. Y'all solid guys, man. And I love just having a conversation, man. But this thing has been working, man. Good chemistry with everything, man. Seriously.
Happy New Year's, you fellas, man.
New Year's, brother.
Many blessings.